All right. No fewer than 176 estates in Etiosa, Ekpe, Ibejuleki, and Aja Axis of Lagos have been blacklisted after being deemed illegal by the Lagos State government. This was disclosed by the Permanent Secretary of the Office of Fiscal Planning, Oluwole Sotire, in a statement released on Monday. The Lagos State government revealed that owners of this estate failed to obtain layout approvals from state ministries of fiscal planning and urban development. And these owners of this estate were given a 2-day ultimatum to submit all necessary documents needed to process their layout approvals. Good morning and welcome to Real Estate Matters on Super FM 92.7. I'm still your host, the Real Estate Doctor. And on the show is where we bring to you discussions about real estate around the country. My co-host is on the way. But before then, I think I'd like us to go on this very quick break. When we come back, we'll dive straight to the conversation.
One Radio, 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7 FM.
One family, one radio, 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7 FM.
One family, one radio, 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7 FM.
One family, one radio, 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7.
All right, welcome back.
One family.
I'm still your host, the Real Estate Doctor. And today we're talking about a conversation that has been making the rounds since on Monday. The Lagos State government officially declared about 176 housing estates illegal estates. And I'd like to say that it's a very long list. And if you, let me say that if you hear the name of your estates, if you hear the name of your estate, you need to own up and raise up your hand. Because, the question, when I saw this news, what came to my mind was, how many estates do we even have in Lagos? For us to have 176 of the estates in Lagos, illegal estate because they did not get prior building approvals or design layout approvals from the Lagos State government. And this is a very worrisome news because as a state, like Lagos State, Lagos State is seen as a pace setter to other states. And if we have 176 housing estates that didn't get approvals from the Lagos State government before construction, that brings to the fore that we need to do better as citizens of Lagos State, and not just Lagos, like Nigeria. So in that estate, we have a very long list. As I said, we have Anchor Homes estate at Ibejuleki, Andron Homes, Shangisha, K2. There's just so much long list. Cedarwood Estate, and for me, I think that it's very important for these developers to understand that we are in a state where we are governed by the government, and there are regulations that we must comply with before we move to the next stage of construction. So when we talk about design layouts, what the government is telling us to do is simple. After you acquire your land, because the first thing you want to do before you start construction is to acquire your space, which is your land, the next thing to do at that time is to draw out a layout. That layout clearly is to tell the government how you plan to use up that space. Because naturally in an estate, there should be areas set aside for recreational areas. There should be areas set aside for roads. There should be areas set aside for kids play area, service yards and all that. And how you want to lay out your the properties, the buildings and infrastructure. These things are even drainages. And these are conversations that we've been having in the past couple of weeks. And that's why we see that so many estates in Lekki are flooded. Because if you had gotten certain approvals from the government, the government will send in their team of experts to come and evaluate everything you want to do to be sure that you are conforming with certain building standards. So as an estate, a lot of estates, most of these estates have 1,000 housing estates, 1,000 housing units. Some have more than 10,000 housing units. And if you don't plan your roads properly and you don't plan your infrastructures properly, there's going to be a lot of issues in that estate, and that is the resultant effect of what we're experiencing today, where we have many estates in Lekki, being flooded. Even power also is a problem. Some estates have power issues. Lovely estates, no electricity because it wasn't properly planned in the first place, and that's why the Lagos State government is saying, don't just start building. Let us approve whatever you want to build. Then we can, guide you on how to make sure that the occupants of those estates enjoy what they are paying for. Don't forget that you can be part of this conversation by calling us on 07056900927. Take that number one more time, 07056900927. That's the number to call to contribute on the show. In the past couple of days, it's been raining cat and dog all over, not just Lagos, all over Nigeria. And it's something that we need to also talk about. But I mean, it's crazy because we've talked about this issue of the rain for this year is going to be a very huge one. And in fact, I saw a statement yesterday by one of the Lagos State officials that people living in flooded areas, I mean, for now, needs to move and look for an alternative place to live because it's very, very important, because right now I have 2 or 3 of my workers who have been trapped in their houses since on Monday because their street is flooded and they still cannot find a way out of the house. They cannot even come to work, and they've been working from home. It's sad, and we saw many videos online of people trapped in their houses.
And so some notice was even shared at some point last week about there being flood.
Yeah. Flood. Yeah, I think I saw that. So
flood-prone areas.
Yeah, because I think the Lagos State government has been trying to be proactive to inform people in advance that stay out of these areas. It's going to be flooded. It's going to be flooded, and the rain is going to be heavy, and that's the way a right-thinking government should work. So when I saw the list of, let me welcome my co-host to the studio, King Gray.
It's King Gray.
Good to have you in the studio.
Good to be here.
So when I saw this trending conversation yesterday, also don't forget that you can also follow us on our Facebook Live. We're online live on Facebook and YouTube on Super FM 92.7 Lagos. We have a call, but I'd like to say, when I saw this very long list yesterday.
It's about time. You see, some of these estates seem like impromptu estates. So if somebody some group of people just put walls and block off streets and decided, oh, this is our estate now.
But my question is, when they were building these estates, where was Lagos State government then?
Well,
where was the government? So, because for you to build an estate, I'm sure it takes well over 1 year, 2 years for you to fully develop the estate. So when they started construction, where was the government?
Some of those listed estates, right,
yes,
are places that homeowners within a certain area just gated off their location and decided that that's how we're going to call ourselves. Yes, some of them are developers. Lagosians do that a lot.
They do that. In fact, I saw one estate.
You'll be driving by a place, and then one day there's a gate there, and next day they tell you there's some security person asking you for a code, and you're wondering, this is a government-owned
I saw one estate, Royal View Estates.
In
that estate is just behind my estate in Ikota, and I'm like,
there are a lot of them like that.
It's just a gated community.
Exactly. I understand the need for gating your community.
Yeah, because of
Lagosians have been
issues.
Traumatized.
Yeah.
I mean, was the 2020 the October 2020 protest, NSAS protest, where there was like the riot. The protests changed at most at some point.
People were,
and then there were thugs that now broke into certain areas. Yeah. So yes, I understand the need to gate your community.
Yes.
But you're not an estate.
It's not an estate. So again, like I said, it's a very long list, and I think that those affected...
Makes you wonder how many estates we have in Lagos.
Yes, that's the question. So those affected estates needs to go and regularize with the government. And again, the biggest question in the minds of everybody is still, where was the government when they were constructing?
And
so you don't have to... I don't think that it's making any sense for the government to wait for them to start construction, finish construction, sell out these estates. People are now living there, and you're coming to say...
Our population is a lot, and a lot of times some of these things need good standing civilians and citizens to draw notice. As I say something, say something, to
Yeah.
alert the government.
But
alert the system.
that see something, say something is only applicable in the UK. Let's take this call, please.
We should bring it to Nigeria, shouldn't we?
Nobody says anything in Lagos in Nigeria. Because if you say something, you might put yourself in trouble. Yeah, morning, sir.
Hello.
Please, your name and where you're calling
Morning. I'm speaking from Lagos Island.
from. Okay, what's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Sunny.
Okay, nice to have you on the show,
Nice to have
Sonny.
you on the call, Sonny.
Okay, how do you want to
Thank you.
contribute?
There's this estate. I don't know if it's also in your list. Jakonde Estate, just by the hospital, Mercy Hospital, the new constructed one.
Jakonde Estates. So,
You-
is that where you live?
Do you know the name of the estate?
No,
No, they
the
call it
estate might be
Jakonde
Jakonde.
Estate.
So the thing is, I'm very sure a Jakonde, any place called Jakonde Estate, I'm very sure it's a government estate. So of course it cannot be in this estate because government would not, they would not shoot herself in the leg and not get her.
He's saying that's not the name. Yeah.
What's the name?
The name, the estate is just behind the third mainland bridge. The place is actually an eyesore whenever it rains.
Whenever it rains. Okay, so
Yes,
so
it's an eyesore, complete an eyesore. You can't believe that people are still living in the building
that
there.
area.
It has been marked that place should be destroyed. I mean, it should be taken over by the government. But up till now, like I speak to you, it's still there. And now that the rain is so massive, the whole place now is flooded.
Yeah.
Lots of
Water will
rubbish.
rise. Yeah. Water
Yes.
level will rise.
okay, so Jakonde Estate is not on the list. I don't know if that's the right name, but
Yeah, because he said behind Third Mainland.
But this list is all over the internet, so you can also do yourself good by checking the internet. Just type names of illegal estates in Lagos. It's trending.
And
to
we could
come up.
actually share it on our
And
social media pages as well.
yes, we could actually do that too. So you will see that on the internet, and I think it's just very good for us to do the right thing as a people, so that we do not continue to lose lives and properties.
True.
Now that
And-
the rain is heavy, people are trapped. There's flooding issue. Most of these estates don't have well drainage system.
Yes, they don't have that.
They don't
drainage
have
system. That's
infrastructure.
true.
They don't have roads. They don't have. So they are poorly planned.
Yes, some
and that's
of
why
them,
and
some
that's
of
why
them.
the government is saying enough of this impunity. Let's come into this in an regular, standardize this
Yes, some
sector.
of them. It's
Yes.
not all because
But
we
again,
do have some
yes. Again,
developers.
before we got to this stage, when they were constructing, the biggest question everybody's asking right now is where was the government when they were constructing? So it's very, very important that we emphasize on why you need to get your building layout approvals by the government before you start construction.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just enough to have money and buy land and start building the next day. There are documentations that you must conform with before you start construction.
Hence the importance of working with professionals because they
professionals,
know
yeah.
the proper process. They know the right
Yes.
documentation.
Yes,
that
so
you
many
need.
guys, so many individuals on the island now have become developers overnight.
Yes.
Because they have money.
Because they have the funds.
No
And
professional
what-
supervision.
what the-
Nobody is looking after
yeah,
the project.
what their
This man
actual-
is the one going to the
he's
market
just going
to buy
and
all the
doing
material.
everything.
He's the one
Mean-
coordinating artisans, and that's why they are building houses.
Houses,
that
any,
keeps
any, in
collapsing.
any, yes.
Yeah, let's take this call again. Yes, morning, please. Okay, I think we lost that. So
And what you find is that some of those developers,
Yes,
what they
please.
should actually just be is real estate investors. I
Yes,
mean, they are always
not
being
the builder.
developers, not the
Not
developer
developer and builder.
themselves. Like you can be,
because they don't want to pay money to professionals now, so they want to cut
and then
corners.
they end up building properties that are substandard,
Substandard.
cutting corners and not getting right documentation.
And that's why many of these properties collapse even during construction. They cannot even wait to finish. It does not even wait to finish construction. It comes down during construction. Let's take this call. Yes, morning, please. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning. We cannot hear the column.
So I think we lost that call. So I think the process is, so let's even itemize the process. You have money, you want to become a developer. You've purchased your land. At that point, you need to bring in professionals. At that point, you need to bring in somebody who's going to advise you on the next step, on the stages of the project, and
the proper documentation.
Yeah,
for
so
it.
most preferably an estate survey and valuer.
Yes.
Okay, at this point, I've purchased my land. What do I want to do? The first thing you want to do is to make sure that you get all your paperwork correct, all your drawings. At that point, you need an architect, you need a building engineer, you need a quantity surveyor. Get all your drawings about mechanical drawing, electrical, building your layouts, get everything drawn out properly. Then you take everything to the Lagos State government, to the Ministry of Physical Planning, to get approvals.
I think they need project managers as well.
Yeah, project managers too. When you get your approval, when the government tells you, fine, you can go ahead to start constructing, that's when you can start constructing. But people don't follow that process. People just start building, or some of them submit this document for approvals. So before the result comes out, they've already started constructing. The government should clamp down on that. It should not happen anymore. So I mean, so we don't have to wait till we finish construction before the government comes to start telling us who are the illegal estates, who are the estates that are found wanting. No. So that way we can save a lot of costs and we can save a lot of lives. So when you get all your approvals, then you can start building, and every other time government officials come there to inspect if you are conforming, because some people even get approvals for a certain thing and they go ahead to build another thing entirely different from what is on the approved plan. So all these are issues, and I think again, I'll put 60% of the problem on the government, and I'll put 40% on the owner, because as the government, it's not enough to just approve a layout plan. You must also go every other time
to inspect and oversee what has been approved,
as deviated from what was approved. So that way you can monitor. So the work of the government is not just to monitor, to give you approval, but they should monitor from the beginning to the end. As a matter of fact, we are getting to a place whereby even before this developer starts selling out this estate, a government official needs to come and rectify that, yes, you finished building, carry out another post-integrity test, post-construction integrity test, that everything is okay, you can start selling before you now start marketing for sales. I think we're getting to that level.
I think another thing that we need to adopt here in Nigeria is homeowners associations.
Yeah.
Which is one thing that I feel some estates are understanding or misstructuring,
yes,
what's the right term, because when a group of homeowners come together and say, look, we want to secure our environment. It's okay to do that without having to term yourselves an estate. You can just decide we're homeowners association for this location, and then you can then have people who help enforce the structure or the policies that you guys have agreed within your area or within your property itself, right? Without having to now say, oh, we are now an estate or this and that.
And most of them just put up illegal gates everywhere.
Illegal gates.
You leave home in the morning with certain assets. On your way back, there's no more road there.
There's no more road there.
They put up a wall and a gate.
You've been passing this corner, and then one day you go there and they tell you,
suddenly it has become an estate overnight. You're asking, I passed it just this morning. There was no code requested. So it's crazy, but it's something that we must continue to, a conversation that we must continue.
Yes. And we must encourage as well.
We must encourage. Yeah. And I think I also like to say that our heart goes out to all the flood victims. I mean, people who've been affected with in fact, the rain that fell on Monday, it was colossal damage.
Through the day.
All through the day, almost 13 to 14 hours continuously. And I wonder how long it will take the floods to go, because I mean everything is trapped somewhere. Like I said earlier on the show, I have few of my workers who are still trapped in their living room. They can't even step out to come to work. And that's the case of many people living around Badore axis right now. It's crazy. Badore and some parts of
people on the mainland
Ikate.
also have some
I saw a video of people in Ikorodu
well.
too, lamenting and calling on the government. And so I think we're getting to a point where I think people need to start buying canoes or those small put them in your house. No, that's the honest truth.
To row.
So in cases where the rains are heavy and you just wake up and you see massive flood in your street, bring out your canoe and paddle it to work or something. We're getting to that point.
Economy, you can't afford to be at
We're
home.
getting to that point because it's not. And to be honest, it's not only Lagos. It's not only Lagos that we have flood. It's not only Nigeria. But because in those areas they have emergency plans, they have backup plans for flooding issues. Immediately you see government officials come in there to rescue people. They even give them alternative accommodation in the main shelters for them to stay pending when the flood goes.
Alternative accommodation.
In advanced countries.
We're talking about taxes and all.
Yes, in advanced countries. But I mean, you're on your own. Yes. So I saw a comment by a government official, a Lagos State government, I think Ministry of Environment, the Commissioner for Environment, saying that people need to relocate from where
temporary.
The fraud-prone areas, temporary relocation. So where are they relocating to, please? No, people don't have anywhere else to go, and you want them to relocate.
Housing is already at a deficit in Lagos.
It's already a deficit. So wherever people are living and it's flooded, they'd rather stay there because there's nowhere else to go, and allow the floods to go naturally and continue living in peace than start to look for alternative accommodation. Also knowing the cost of renting houses, the cost of that also affects, or even in our insurance. In the case where you insure your property and there's a fire outbreak or something happens,
yes,
the insurance company naturally is supposed to give you
some sort of
accommodation in the meantime. Yes, it also happens. But I mean, so that's why even our insurance policies in this part of the world is not really popular. People don't really people don't insure anything. A lot of people have houses worth billions. There's no insurance on the property. People have if you really want to,
depends on the tax bracket of the individual.
Yes,
I think there's certain tax bracket that's more informed on insurance and they are more invested in it because they understand the importance of it.
Yes, but if you count 20 properties in this VI now, I'm telling you 15 of them will not be insured because we've not really accepted the whole idea of insurance in Nigeria. And that's the truth. Yeah, you can disagree, but I can tell. So let me now tell you. Do you know that? So for you to even insure,
yes,
how many properties are registered in Nigeria that have a registered title? The Lagos State government was saying one time that less than 15% of properties are registered in Lagos. Less than 15%. So so people have not registered property. You're talking about insurance.
Well, I mean, a property can be insured even with
not registered.
Even with the previous registration of the property. So we do, yes, there are property owners who purchase the property and then they may not register the new ownership of the property, but they still have their existing documentations for the past property owner.
The last owner.
Yeah, exactly, that they still hold on to. And I think that can be used when it comes to property insurance.
Well, I disagree because they're different. It's carrying different names.
Mm-hmm. So I think what we need is a professional on insurance.
No, the honest truth is, how do I register a property in somebody's name or insure a property in my own name, and the property is carrying another person's name?
Tenants can insure their properties, right? Do you know that? As a tenant within a property, you can insure your apartment.
Yeah, you can insure your apartment, but if there's a fire outbreak in the flats above you and it will affect your own.
If it affects yours, yes, your insurance can. There are certain terms that can be included.
It's possible, yeah.
So and insurance is actually very, very cheap. Most of the clients that I work with, I often recommend. Yeah. I have an insurance partner that I recommend to them. I say, this is what it costs. Once you are leasing, it doesn't cost much. It's less than 1% of your actual rent.
Yeah.
To insure your assets, especially now that people are having flooding issues. I don't see why you can't cover that. Although I think there's a certain number of times, you know how
if it was a Sena climbs with this flooding issue, just a phone call to your insurance company, they'll get you another apartment in the meantime.
No, so even in Sena company, even in Sena climates and countries, the risk of flood in your area will also reduce the amount or the chances of them actually the amount that they would insure your property or increase the amount that they will be insuring your property.
Of course, because the higher the risk, the higher the flood in that area, the higher the risk.
That's why I always recommend, because insurance, they do some background checks that help you as an investor or as a tenant to say, if my insurance company is telling me that this place is flood prone, that means that I also should be alert on what it's going to cost me and what the chances are. But if you are in a flood prone area and you insure your car, you insure your location, how much does it cost per year? At the end of the day, what do you get when such...
How many people even insure their cars? Aside from the general third party that were forced to do. Third party is like a compulsory insurance that you're forced to do. But the comprehensive one, how many people does it? Yeah. I've only done the comprehensive insurance once in my life, in this lifetime, and that's when I bought my first luxurious car. Then the car was shocking me. Let me go and insure this thing all my life. But my subsequent cars, I insure it with God.
I'm a big advocate for insurance. I insure my car.
Because when you pay the money 2-3 times, you get tired. Like, nothing happened to my car. Why am I paying these people free money?
You know when something happens.
Yeah, but that's the reality. You just feel like you're dashing insurance company money and nothing's happening to your car.
Not. You're securing. You are.
I know people in advanced countries who will just naturally get tired of their car and just mess up the car deliberately just to get a new car from the insurance company because they know that insurance works in that country. But in this country, a friend of mine that insured his car when he had an accident on Top Mainland Bridge. Oh yeah, come and get me another car. Story started. English started. Before they could not even give the car. They could not give him a makeshift car. In the meantime, this guy was taking Uber. So so how can you not come and tell me about insurance?
I benefited from insurance with the car and with the phone.
And you got full value. You got what you wanted. Yes, you were happy about their service. Yeah, I think some of them are actually very proactive. Yeah, yes, exactly.
Be smart on the insurance partner that you work with.
Yes,
for
please.
Your property, for your gadgets, and for your assets. But yeah.
Yes, please. So I think it's still very good to insure your assets, properties. It's still very good. People even insure their life. Yes. Yes, there's life insurance too. There's a lot of policies out there. So I think we should actually bring an insurance expert to this show one of this time. I think anytime soon to come and tell us more about this. So if you are house hunting, this is the best time for you to house hunt. Yes. There's flooding everywhere. And this is you get all the signs from the beginning that this area is a no-go area. And for all the affected persons in the flood-prone areas, please, our heart goes out to you. We hope that the government can intervene as a matter of time. So that's how far we can take
the estates. Are going to be involved in.
Yeah. So I hope that all these affected estates go to regularize and their approvals. That's how far we can take on the show today. It's been a very wonderful time with you, Ray. It's been a very wonderful time, and
awesome to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So till we come your way, same time next week. Stay blessed.
One Radio, 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7 FM.
One family, one radio. 92.7 Super FM.
Your one family, one radio, Super 92.7